evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. Tonight it will be the Stars and Cars of the USFPRO Championships. The PM18s taking the show over the pond, running up the hill to Druids. That's the shot you're looking at right now. The Brands Hatch Circuit, 2.4 miles, 9 turns. Adam Carroll holding one of the more obscure track records, 1 minute 12 in a 2009 A1 GP Ferrari. That was a thing. My name is Chris Graham, joining the booth. We got a whole host of us up here tonight. James Watson, Patrick Burns, Sebastian Kinder on the call for you here tonight of, quite frankly, what should be a pretty darn good race. Practice just wrapping up. And I'll tell you what here, James, we'll come to you first since I screwed you out of one last week. Barely getting a split. And we went from 24 cars starting this race and kind of an, okay, SOF to a 4,043 SOF. This could be one of the most important points nights of the entire season for these guys.
Yeah, you basically need to make this your best race of the season. You cannot afford to let this opportunity go by. And this is one of those tracks to do it if you're one of the top guys like Ted or Everett, where this isn't really a draft track. You're not going to have to worry about a whole lot of shenanigans and a huge pack of cars that's going to be all up in your business. This is a track where you can put your head down and set sail.
Well, and we'll come to America's Worst Crew Chief, Bizzle here. This is also a place, hearing James say that makes me think the time and effort that these teams and drivers put into setting the race cars up this week, that makes a huge difference here tonight. Knowing what the track temp's going to be, being able to adjust from what you saw in practice to getting the car ready to qualify, and then putting a good race set under it as well.
Yeah, especially with this being such a fast track. It's almost a low downforce track, but there are a couple of kind of really tight, really almost narrowing corners. You enter them real fast, but they get slower as you exit them. So a little bit more downforce might be the play here, but you're going to suffer in the fast corners and you're going to suffer down the straightaways. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Teddy B right here, he's one of the guys that runs more downforce than everyone else. So expect to see him a little slower down the straightaways, but making up a ton of time going into what is turn number 2 here.
Well, and Pat, Seb, will come to you next here. It is, according to our clock, 4:05 a.m. France time. I'm not entirely sure why you're here, but we'll take it. I won't even go into the joke you were making earlier today. Well, yeah, but I was going to say, what's the draw here to get you up in the middle of the night and call a race here for these guys? Because there's got to be some sort of attraction to these cars.
Because these are one of the best cars in iRacing. I just love these cars. They're so fun to drive. And I always have a blast commentating PM18 with you guys. And if I get the shot, I'm taking it.
Well, like I said, we're glad to have you here. Almost everybody is out on the racetrack. Actually, now everyone is on the speedway. 13 cars in the split, as we mentioned, and a huge SOF. First lap times on the board for Ted Burns. He will be quick time with a 1 minute 23.446. Sam Carasala, the first to log an official lap. And he's going to be in at a 118.566. That is a pretty darn quick lap there for Sam Carasala. Ted Burns second quick at an 18.573 and 9.35 for Everett Paddock in third. And man, this is all the heavy hitters. The biggest of the big made this split here tonight. Nicholas Daly slotting in sixth quick with the Team Downforce Racing teammate Carl Lemke one position higher in fifth. Carter Lundy, huge lap there for Lundy, his first time out, 118.432. He's going to move to the top of the board, bumping Carasala down to P2. Saw a little bit of squirrely out of Everett Paddock on his first lap. Get the tires up, the temps start dialing things in a little bit here. And that number 1 machine looking absolutely spectacular. 75.18 the I rating on Ted Burns as we are halfway through the qualification session. Off the final corner, down over the start-finish line. Lap number 2 is complete for Ted Burns.
Oh.
And it will be quick time, 1:17.967. Only car in the 117s as it stands right now. Will pick up Carter Lundy. Sam Carasala went even faster on his second lap at an 18:136. Lundy's really going to have to work his way up to get on the front row. Our winner 1 week ago, Alex Ellis, moving up into position number 5. And Ellis absolutely dominated this race 1 week ago. Lundy over the line for lap number 2, and it will be an improvement, but not enough. He's going to stay in the 4th position. Now Alexander Wesley Hazelworth going to finish up in position number 4 as Alex Ellis moves up onto the front row. 1:18.054. Only about a quarter of a second, less than a third of a second, separating the top 5 on the grid as Eskew comes over the line. He's going to move up into position number 7, 1:18.559. We'll take a look at Jason Miller in the PPG Shell V-Power number 10. Just getting started here on lap number 2. Mike Holler, his first lap did not score, so he's going to have to put something up here on lap number 2. Same is true for Brian Labarge. Labarge going to have a little bit of work to do out of the 10th position, 1:19.095. And James, we were talking about this. We were doing some driver coaching earlier with you and I. You hear there's a second gap and you go, I can find a second easy. It's finding the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths of a second that gets hard. When these guys have to find a second, that's just one part of the racetrack clicks in their head, and all of a sudden, you're up and running right in the front of the field.
Yeah, and trying to figure out the little tips, tricks, and idiosyncrasies that they're doing differently than the others. That's the hard part too, is because when you find out how to do that, it also unlocks a lot of pace in different corners on different tracks. So trying to understand how they're taking those different corners and how you can turn that around and use it yourself, it's not easy. That's why they always say those last few tens are so hard to find.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch this race develop here over the next 19 laps. But first, let's take a look at your point standings heading into tonight's race. Ted Burns is your point leader, sitting on 810 markers. Brian Molitor on 682, 637 for Alexander Wesley Hazelworth. Darren Fahey and Sam Carasala will complete the top 5. Now, those numbers we pulled before the 8 p.m. race, which also usually has a pretty decent SOF. But that's actually different from what you would see if you were to check the iRacing member site right now. And that's one of the hard things about doing the kind of in-season standings updates is you never quite know when everybody's going to run, other than the big SOF night. So we may change up a little bit how we pull data and whatnot to show you kind of where everything sits after the broadcast race. And then, we'll update everything on the following week to week. But field is out on the starting grid. Let's get you the starting lineup for tonight's race here at Brands Hatch. Starting on the pole in the Downforce Racing, number 1 will be Ted Burns with a lap time of 1:17.967. To his outside, the Dr. Dauber, number 3 of Canada's Alex Ellis. Row number 2, the Air Alaska, number 8 of Sam Carasala, alongside of the law firm Alexander Wesley Hazelworth. Still only about a quarter of a second separating the cars on the front 2 rows. Carter Lundy in the Sim Racing Center, number 2, will line up alongside of that PPG Shell V-Power, number 10 of Jason Miller. Good qualifying run for Miller, putting that car up on row number 3. 4th row tonight, we'll have the TNT Racing, number 4 of Everett Paddock, alongside of Ron Eskew in the Philadelphia Flyers, number 11. Row 5, couple of Downforce Racing cars belonging to Nicholas Daly and Carl Lemkool. Teammates qualifying within about 0.2 of a tenth of each other. for tonight's race. Row number 6, Brian Lamarge in the NASA Meatball will line up alongside of Australia's Darren Fahey. Those guys will make up row number 6. Row 7 tonight, all alone. The only car that did not set a lap time in qualifying will be the Citizens Climate Lobby number 13 of Mike Holler. City of Chicago well represented on the side of that number 13 machine. Let's go on board here with your pole sitter, Ted Burns. Let the Exorcist cam do its thing. There's a look at Alex Ellis. Second row forming up just back behind these guys. Almost time for us to go racing. To come through that really quick final corner, and they're going to get the green flag. We are underway here at Brands Hatch, a very tricky turn 1. Top 2 going to get through cleanly.
Oh.
What a run by Ellis.
Oh, what a run by Sam.
Huge run by Carasala. We're going to be side by side for the race lead. Oh, man, maybe a little bit of a hip check.
Man.
Oh, crossover.
Oh, nice. That's
What
how
a
you should do it.
Well, one car spinning
someone
off
is
the
breaking the back
back.
around.
Jason Miller spinning off towards the back of the pack.
What a move by Sam. He just barely gets clear.
Here
How
comes
about
Carousel.
he's going after Ted Burns, too.
Oh, and Carousel
what
will
a
take
move by
advantage of it.
Sam. He has to back out. Man, that is such a gutsy play for Sam Carasala to back out of that. The run was there, the door was open, and just to go, nope, not the time yet.
Yeah, this isn't really the time you want to fight. This is like the one bit on the track where draft will play into it, so you don't want to lose the draft making a bit of a gutsy move here early on. Like, try to get your moves done up here like we saw Ellis do on that first lap.
Yeah, the speed you carry through turn 1 there is so important. There you see it out of Burns. Oh, man, Ellis slams the door inside. Teddy B going to look outside through turn 3.
Whoa!
Deja vu.
Wow.
Oh my goodness!
Still side by side.
This one we're not going to get a word in edgewise.
My God, this is incredible. And look at Carter joining the party.
I didn't expect to have a... Oh, no, don't tell me they're going 3 wide.
Oh boy. Oh dear.
Like, I didn't expect this out of Brands Hatch of all places.
Right?
Well, when the Americans go to Europe, we got to put on a show.
You nailed that one, buddy. Actually, the IndyCar races here back years and years ago were fantastic shows. Now, they didn't run this particular section of the race course, but...
Which was lame.
Yeah, you just skip the whole part of the track, the most interesting part of the track. That's how American of you.
It would have slowed them down a little bit. Good Lord, your top 4 are all nose to tail. As Everett Paddock sets a new fastest lap of the race out of position number 5. Burns has the thought looking up inside, nothing quite there.
So I said this typically isn't a draft block track, but boy, you can't tell from what we're watching.
Well, this is one of those where it's not necessarily draft block, it's just outright pace.
Yeah.
Just the whole front of the field is so quick together. And then when you get into this particular part where you start talking about the draft, yeah, you're going to be there, especially like Sam Carasala trying to hold off Carter Lundy. Lundy's got to theoretically make this move kind of early, because if you end up out of draft range, you may not be able to catch back up.
Yeah, because Sam had a big wiggle in the apex in turn 1 to slap and cost both of them just so much time. They seem to think they might have gotten themselves back up into range now, but they've really got to put the pedal to the metal.
Never Paddock having to fight off Alexander Wesley Hazelworth. 3 battles all flying through the screen, and Nicholas Daly's got a great look at him.
Yeah, he's
Another
having a
new
lot for
fastest
fighting
lap.
hard to serve those papers.
See what you did there, James.
And try to make one bad loss.
And at this point, you guys aren't really missing much back through the field here. Pretty significant gaps. We will go back here very quickly, take a look and see what happened to Jason Miller. This was on lap number 2. Coming down the hill out of Druids. And just whoops it, getting out onto the Cooper Straight. And nose first into the tire barriers, and that spells the end of the race for him. This battle has settled down ever so slightly. Let's pick up your race leader, Alex Ellis, as Sam Karasala puts up a new fastest lap. 18.269. Nice lap for Karasala.
Nice.
They got him up into 3rd. And they are starting to close in on these top 2. It's going to be a 4-car fight before too long. Three-wide battle back behind.
Oh my goodness.
Hazelworth and Daly.
Oh!
Wow, what a save.
Still side by side. Oh.
That's insane. 3 days to 2.
These are not corners that are easy to go side by side through, folks.
I was driving this track an hour ago. They're not easy to go through, period.
You're not wrong.
This is why I wake up at 3 a.m. for this kind of show. That's my PM18 right there.
Yeah, if I remember the last time we were here last season, that race was also just like pretty crazy with a lot of the moves we were seeing too.
Carter Lundy with a big dive through Druids on Sam Karasala. It's going to put him up into position number 3.
Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at, Seb. He was able to get the move done, and they didn't really lose a whole lot of time, which is huge. Still gives them the opportunity to try to grab right back up to the top 2.
Trouble for Carl Lemkool. Let's take a look here at the replay. Battling with Mike Collins. Looks like a little bit of neck code, but Lemkool slides off into the gravel. Able to grab the gear to keep the car going, but
what were you going to say, Seb?
I was going to say Paddock Hill is not a place you want to go side by side, but
yeah, I think that worked out for her. Well, maybe not worked out for Carl, lucked out. That I don't think he got much damage. Like, I think he hit the rear attenuator perfectly and just kind of bounced off of the wall.
sorry, I didn't have front 10 version with it delayed. Just like, oh, we lost the car in the late pack. Oh no, so it's late game.
interesting how Ellis is trying to cover off the inside lane. Oh, it slides right back in front. Kind of puts Burns in a tough spot.
Especially when you spin the camera around and see what we're gonna
I
see.
would say Ellis won't put himself in a bad spot because no Burns on the inside.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, but
here's
there's Carter Lundy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why we're seeing the aggression start to go up from Ted. He sees what we couldn't at the time.
Yeah, and
Yeah, because
well, I was just gonna say, it's one of those deals where you kind of have to, if you're Ted, you have to play offense and defense at the same time, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, now this is bringing Sam back up in the fight too, because he was almost out of drafting range after Carter made the pass, but look at that, he's back in the mix now.
So your top 4 are nose to tail, and then you're going to have 5, 6, and 7 that are still nose to tail as well. We'll slide back here and pick up the battle between Paddock, Hazelworth, and Daly. Barrett Fahey hanging out about 1.5, 1.6 seconds back of these guys. But if they get to fighting, Fahey will close in quickly as Lundy able to get around Ted Burns.
wow, that means just got him on downhill. Wow.
Take a look at it on the replay.
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the
Oh,
tiniest
Ted goes
bit
wide.
wide.
And
I mean,
that
it wasn't even
great
that
to not
wide
losing.
either.
Yeah, Carter just saw that little gap and went for it. And
Yeah,
before we continue watching, I think there might have been big problems between Hazelworth and Paddock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we could-
Paddock's in the pits.
We could say that. Let's pick up the replay. Whoa, little bit of contact.
And the rear wing dropped. Wow.
And the rear
Wow.
wing dropped off of Everett Paddock's car.
That little bit of contact, wow.
And this is what we saw 1 week ago. Carter Lundy and Ted Burns went to battling each other, and Alex Ellis just absolutely checked out.
Yeah, they gotta get back on it, because
Yeah.
Yeah, at
It's
some
like
point,
you're at.
if you're Ted Burns, you just have to play nice. Say, look, I'm not, come over the in-sim chat and say, I'm not going after you. Just everybody hit their marks and you'll catch back up. And they're starting to do that a little bit here. But you can't, if you let Alex Ellis run away, it's hard enough to try to pass him.
This is like you're at an IndyCar, and now I can say IndyCar because now we got the rights back. Yeah, if it's draft locked, and yeah, the one thing that is most annoying is you're trying to keep in the draft with someone, and then you got someone overtaking you. Like, oh, come on, really? You gotta work together.
Yeah, then you see the gap just fall and fall, and you're like, come on, guys.
Now, Bizzle, what do you do if you're in the seat of Carter Lundy here? Do you go full attack here on Alex Ellis, or do you kind of feel like you have to wait a little bit? And I mean, we're only to the second half of the race. There is time to let this play out a little bit.
If my name was Carter Lundy, I'm on the attack the entire time. Just gotta sit back there, wait for the door to open itself, even just a crack, and you gotta send it in there.
Sounds like a Bizzle answer.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
With how aggressive Lundy's driving style is, I don't know that there's any other option for him.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with what Patrick's saying. Like, theoretically, this is a track where passing someone and pulling away is a lot more feasible than other typical mainstays on the schedule. So this isn't really a track that you need want to just kind of sit around and ride. Like if you can pull off the pass and then pull off a good set of corners, you could eke out enough of a gap. Obviously, it's not going to be easy because there is some draft that comes into play, but you have a greater chance of doing that.
Oh, in the grass.
But you're not going to be doing that if you're doing that.
Well, that shows you how hard the push is, quite frankly.
And how hard he's pushing.
Well, yeah, that was more of what my comment was. You can see how hard he's pushing to try to make up any little spot on Ellis and apply pressure. I just don't know where you do it.
Here it comes.
There you go.
He's doing it right here.
You got him to defend the inside. He will get a crossover.
Crossover.
Still there. Dang.
Oh!
Did Ellis save? Oh man, yes he did.
Wow. And
What
remember,
a
the wall was
view.
super close. The wall was super close, so not much room for this.
What a
Here
view.
comes
Now
Ed.
Burns is going to look.
He have damage? Whoa, he might have damage.
Yeah, he looks tight.
Yeah, Burns is trying everything.
Oh
at
my
this
god.
point. Lundy slides a little wide. That may allow Ellis and Carousala to come through. Ellis gets the pass clear. Carter Lundy falls back to third. And they're already opening up the gap ever so slightly here at the front. Trying to get a little bit tighter look at Carter Lundy's machine.
No, I can't. I want it.
I don't
it's also the
see-
impact of
there's nothing
I
that
just had a
jumps
contact.
out. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
There is that little pucker factor Zulu moment. Oh man, Ellis!
Oh.
Wow! Little right side.
Oh, there's a hip check.
Sliding!
Oh my god, we're gonna get 3 wide.
Do it!
What
I
a
just
race
want
at the
what's
front.
going
Oh,
through
Ellis!
Sam's mind. Oh my goodness!
Ellis gives
Oh,
it through
there
his
goes
hands. Some left side loving. Ellis slides
Oh
it
my
into the
god.
gravel.
And Lundy takes the lead, but not for long.
And I'll tell you what, if these guys keep this up, you could see
Ellis will come
Alex
back.
Ellis catch back up.
Yeah.
Alexander Rossi mode.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go on board with Sam Carousala. Show you this fight up
Wait,
ahead. Oh,
wait. What happened to Ted?
Burns?
Is he in the pits?
No, not a bit.
Trouble for Ted Burns. As we're getting the cameras squared up. Take a look and see what happened
Oh!
with his twitch.
Oh!
Got into him ever so slightly. Burns slides into the inside wall, grabs the gear and goes. He's still in 5th position.
Wow, he just wiggled right at the end, and like Carter was right. There's nothing you could do if you're Carter with how close you were to Ted. You just can't stay off of him in that scenario.
And this has allowed Ellis to come back on them.
And now Sam Carousala is battling for the race lead. And we were talking to him before the race, and he's like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a repeat of last time we were here unless we get another catastrophic internet issue with everyone. Well, there have been issues, not internet issues, and here he is with an opportunity to bring home the win.
I tell
Yeah,
you what.
Carousel was just patient.
I wish
that worked out.
Seb, you nailed it right on the head. Sam Carousala being very patient, Alex Ellis coming through into turn number 1. But I don't know that this is a spot that Sam's been in before. Battling with these guys really tooth and nail like this. I mean, now, let's not sell him short here. He's a 3198 iRating guy. He's not a slouch. But you're talking about battling 3 of the fastest that this car has and doing it at the very front of the field.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of like the top skippy guys out there, so he knows what to do in these scenarios. I think if I'm Sam, just do what you've been doing all race long. Just let the guys ahead of you just keep playing grab ass and push themselves off the track and pick up what you can. Like, this strategy has worked well for him so far tonight. I'd say just stick with it.
Well, Bizzle, we've talked about that in the past. It's the Prost versus Senna strategy. One guy's going to go absolutely balls out every lap, and one guy's going to do just enough to get the car into victory lane.
Yep, and that's all you have to do. If you go into work and you're getting paid $15 an hour, you still get it whether you work your butt off or if you just show up. So go out there, hit your marks, get the checkered flag, and take the trophy home.
So now Lundy and Carasala falling back a little bit here from Ellis, and this is interesting because when you had Ted Burns in the mix up there, you at least had the opportunity to try to make up some drafting help because you had 3 cars in the line trying to catch Ellis. Now they're about 9/10 of a second back, and that gap is continuing to fall here as Carasala makes the move on Lundy. I wonder if there's not some damage on that number 2 machine because the gap, even with those 2 cars in line, the gap was opening up. Now they're going to have to stay nose to tail for these final 4 laps if they want a shot at Alex Ellis.
Oh, and whoa! Wide.
Yeah, I think it might be all she wrote unless we get a mistake from Ellis.
We'll slide back, pick up Darren Fahey and Alexander Wesley Hazelworth. They're fighting for 6th and 7th. Ted Burns starting to close in on Nicholas Daly. But now even the gap between Carasala and Lundy has opened up to about 8/10 of a second as well. Hazelworth slides off. Hazelworth slides to the grass. Another good fight back here. Mike Holler, Brian Labarge, Rod Eskew fighting for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Good Lord. Are we going to get a chance to catch our breath here? Maybe over the final lap or so.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Closing in on Alex Ellis. It's down to a car length for the race lead with 2 to go.
Just as Jim said, a small mistake from Ellis, and we saw this. Carasala keep using his patience game. That's what he has to do, and it's rewarding him with a shot at the win.
London, Daly, and Burns are starting to catch up as well. The gap's sitting right now about 1.6 seconds. I don't think they're going to get there with 2 to go, unless the guys at the front start getting handsy.
Yeah, but even still, it's still a lot of time to make up and not a whole lot of time to get there. If you're Sam, it is go time.
It's half the time.
Yeah, what he said.
So the white flag will come out next time by the start-finish line. It'll be 1 lap to go. Let us know in the comments who's going to win this thing. Alex Ellis, Sam Carasala, Nicholas Daly with a huge dive into turn 1, takes third from Carter Lundy. Oh, and Burns is right there too.
Yeah, that damage on Carter's car is severe.
It's almost like he picked up floor damage or something that really is affecting the downforce levels of the car.
Yeah.
Now, Bizzle, if you're Carasala, where do you make the move? Do you wait until the end of the lap?
I think so, because that last corner, while it's big and sweeping, it's a huge opportunity to try and get a crossover there. It's a very, very wide corner with the driver with a quick steering wheel. They can make a big move happen there.
He's in his airbox. Or, no, gearbox.
There's a joke to be made there, and I'm just not going to do it. They're going to come through these final couple of corners. Carasala's going to have maybe a shot. He's in the draft. Over the line, checkered flag in the air. Alex Ellis picks up the win at Brands Hatch. What a show out of the USF Pro guys. Nicholas Daly holds off Ted Burns by a 10th. It was a 10th from first to second and a 10th from third to fourth. Oh my goodness, what a show. Alex Ellis gonna, well, I thought he was gonna park the car and get out. Oh, is he gonna try to light him up down the hill? Oh, he tried to.
Or not.
Or not. That's unfortunate. Alex Ellis picking up a fantastic race win. There's no way when he was off in the gravel at about the halfway point that he thought, yeah, I got a shot at this.
Yeah. What's a polite term to say dumpster fire? Because it wasn't stupid, but oh boy, was that chaotic.
Yeah, that race was incredible. That is one of the best of the year. We say this every season with the USF Pro guys, but my goodness.
They're the best. They're the best. That's why I wake up at 3 a.m. for that.
Yeah, really, that race answered the question, why would you get up at 4 in the morning to watch this? Let's take a look at your race results. Alex Ellis picking up the win over Sam Carasala and Nicholas Daly. Ted Burns and Darren Fahey complete the top 5. 6 through 10, Alexander Wesley Hazelworth, Mike Holler, Brian Labarge, Rod Eskew, and Carl Lemcool. Second page of the leaderboard has Carter Lundy all the way back to the 11th position.
Wow.
Only 2 cars finishing laps down tonight, both going out with contact damage early. That is the 4 of Everett Paddock and the 10 of Jason Miller. So let's get ready for our victory lane interviews here. I don't even necessarily know where I want to go hunting for the victory lane interview footage, but we'll bring it back here to the white flag lap, and let's bring up our race winner tonight, Mr. Alex Ellis. And good Lord, man, I'm going to start this one off by saying, when you were off in the gravel with 6 or 7 laps to go, did you have any prayer that this thing would be parked in victory lane?
So basically for maybe 2 or 3 corners, I thought it was completely done. And then I realized that, you know what, they were close enough and they were so active. They were still going side by side. So I knew at that point that if I kind of collected myself as quick as I could and just got on with it, then hopefully the racing gods would slow them down and bring them back to me. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and then you had to battle with Sam, who I don't know how much you guys may have raced with each other before, but it's got to be a little bit different, a name that you might not be familiar with, fighting for the lead in a 4,000 SOF race. Do you have to race that person any different than somebody, say, racing, Ted or Everett, somebody that you might be more familiar with?
Well, so yeah, this was my first time racing against Sam wheel to wheel. But the thing is the first half of the race when I was busy trying to keep Teddy and Carter at bay, I could see Sam behind, and I spent enough time kind of watching him that I realized he was a very conservative, smart driver. He wasn't making crazy moves, even in situations where some may. So that really helped me kind of build some trust in going really, really close with him, and it really helped in just basically remaining confident as I was trying to make a move by him.
Well, I'll tell you what, a fantastic show you guys put on here tonight. Congratulations on your second straight win here in the USFPRO Broadcast SOF. And Alex, before we let you go, do all the big sponsor plugs and shout-outs you want to get in here.
Of course, yeah. So as always, Dr. Dabber, our title sponsor, they're great to us. Ellis Engineering, Moradness, Nemesis Lab, the whole team at Satellite Racing, especially Adam Crane. He's our team manager and setup wizard. He gave me a great setup tonight, although he may have forgotten 1 or 2 clicks of fuel because the last 2 laps there I was having to save. And then as always, you guys putting a great broadcast together. And based on that low fuel, I got to thank the fuel gods too. So.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. That was not something I expected to hear tonight, was that the fuel gods were going to have to play nice. But man alive, let's bring in Sam Carasala, our runner-up finisher here tonight. Sam, congratulations. A absolutely monster second-place run. You had an incredible view of all that going on in front of you. What is going through your head when these guys are 2 and trying to sometimes force 3 wide?
Yeah, exactly what you just said. I want a great view of it. I don't really want to be a part of it. So I'm happy to keep my distance and, not push my luck too hard.
Well, yeah, and then the chaos starts ensuing. Ted has his issue. Alex has his issue first. He's off in the dirt somewhere. Ted has his issue. Carter has a problem. Alex is right back here fighting again. How do you kind of mentally settle yourself into just hit the marks? Because that's what you did the entire race. You drove a damn near spot perfect race.
I really love this track. Once you get the hang of it, it's so fun, and it's a joy to just kind of keep lapping around. Obviously, I'm watching the relatives on both sides if we're fighting too hard up ahead, which we were, and you guys saw, it starts pulling the people who got detached closer and closer towards us. So yeah, anytime when Alex had his little off, or when Carter went running through the grass and he wanted to go through, my priority is, we're still early on in the race. If he wants to go by so badly, just let him. I'm still in a position to make something happen in the final few laps, and why mess that up?
Well, I'll tell you what, like I said, you drove damn near a spot perfect race. Congratulations on the podium and a huge points night too, with a big monster SOF. Congratulations on it. And before we let you go, do the sponsor plugs and shout outs you want to get in here.
Thanks to you guys, of course, for broadcasting, as always. Independent drivers, so no sponsors to shout out. But yeah, I love this car. I love this community, and can't wait to be here next week.
All right, buddy. Well, we're looking forward to talking to you. That is for sure. Sam, thank you very much. Congratulations once again on quite frankly, a fantastic drive up there into the second position. And now it's time to talk to our third place finisher tonight, Mr. Nicholas Daly. And I'll tell you what, your race was interesting because you had the battles that were going on with you guys early on in the race. And then all of a sudden you're seeing names that are ahead of you on the relative kind of falling back into the clutches and really going to war. Talk us through your night a little bit, because you definitely had a lot going on there in the cockpit of the 5 car.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't have, super high expectations for the race, so this is definitely a surprise. But yeah, no, at the beginning of the race, it was, it kind of split up. I think it was me, Everett, and Hazelworth were kind of battling there for a while until they had contact, and I was able to get through there and then just put in some laps. And yeah, slowly I was seeing, man, they must have been putting on a show up front, because yeah, that relative was coming down just a little bit every lap. And then yeah, I was able to pick up really some good luck from misfortune. Kind of sucks what happened to Ted. But Yeah.
We just saw like the shot that encompasses your night. Carter Lundy is outside running out of fuel. Ted's locking it up to the inside, and you're just out there kind of hitting the marks. Kind of same question I just asked Sam. How do you hit the marks when all of this chaos is happening around you? There's so much that can distract you. I guess it just has to become a muscle memory thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like after Everett and Hazelworth came together, yeah, it is a distraction. It took me like probably a lap to get it to go back to hitting the marks, right? But yeah, no, it was. Man, this race, I gotta tell you, it was a full concentration because it's like the car really slides a lot through here, and if you just go a little bit too late on the brakes and you just understeer, or if you're get a little bit too greedy on the throttle and you light up the rear tires and do a half spin, so it really takes a lot of concentration.
Well, I'll tell you what, very nice drive to pick up a third place finish here tonight, big SOF, so it's a good points night, and maybe even gain a little bit of I rating while you're at it here. Congratulations, Nicholas, and before we let you go, do all those sponsor plugs and shout-outs for us.
Yeah, as always, shout out to Downforce Racing, and thank you, Ted, for putting together setups and doing the walkthrough guides and everything. And thank you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast every week. And thank you to all the viewers for watching.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here up in the booth for a couple of minutes, finishing up a, quite frankly, fantastic race here at Brands Hatch. We'll go back to the live scenic shots, and we'll come to Seb Kinder first. Lots of unintelligible screaming in French. What more could we ask for out of this race?
Alors, ce qu'on peut demander plus... Oh, no, je déconne. I'm going to talk in English. What could we expect more? I mean, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Yeah, that was exactly it, Bizzle. Like, the crew chief mind in you, I know, is kind of always spinning. Alex Ellis having to make a recovery drive. Ted Burns having to make a recovery drive. Carter Lundy having just an eventful night all the way around. This race was really crazy, and some big points nights for guys even like Darren Fahey. A huge fifth place finish for Darren.
Yeah, tonight was definitely a night with the high strength of field and high points paying event that was on offer here tonight. Stakes were pretty high, and we saw a fantastic show. Lundy is always an exciting driver to watch on track. You could put that guy in one of the Formula Vs at iRacing Super Speedway by himself, and it would still be entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I could maybe agree with that. Yeah, having been driving the V a little bit here over the last couple of weeks, it's a car, that is for sure. But now, James, we kind of start to turn our attention towards the second half of the season, and next week we head to we're off to Lime Rock Park next week for round number 6. Then we have the free version of Phoenix and then Silverstone. 3 courses that could not be more different from each other are going to really test these guys in the middle part of the season.
Yeah, we're going to see who's the best overall talent at adapting at the different things being thrown at them. We have such different circuits on offer here in this next 3 weeks that it's going to be really interesting seeing how everyone's going to deal with all the curveballs and try to maximize the areas where they can.
Yeah, this is really going to, quite frankly, shape how this championship plays out. And it is going to be a ton of fun watching these guys rip around Lime Rock, quite frankly. But we've got a ton that's going on here over the next week or so. We will be back on Monday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Silver Crowns taking on Irwindale Speedway. The Sprint Cars, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Round number 6 of 12 also at the Irwindale Speedway. I am working out the issues that we had this week with the stream. I'm pretty sure we know where the issue lies. So we're going to try again for Chris Doesn't Suck or Sucks Less or something. That'll be coming up next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, like we said, the USF cars heading off to Lime Rock Park 1 week from tonight. Absolutely epic show. It was a blast calling this one. For Sebastian Kinder, Patrick Byrne, James Watson, and everybody else here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much all for coming to hang out with us, and we will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.